right, it's True Tuesday, so I'm just going to lay it out as how I see it. I love the trade life. I love being a plumber. I absolutely do. There has not been a day in the last 25 years where I have seriously considered wishing I had taken a different path. The people that I meet, both in the trade and outside of the trade, the people I work for, are wonderfully positive and uplifting people. That does not mean that I haven't run across every type of dirtbag, snake oil salesman, dirty, cheat, rotten bastard, or frankly, bitch, in my career. In fact, the very first lesson I learned was from a woman that was a lawyer, and she said to me at the completion of her job, was her custom house. I went for my last payment, and she told me, Bob, I am not paying you. I will not pay you. Why? Because I can. Because I can fight it, and there's nothing you can do about it. And I won't go on to the big long story about it, but 7 years later, she paid me. The problem that I see out there is a lot of people are focusing on the negativity of the trade, that it's somehow a toxic workplace. And I don't know what they mean by it's a toxic workplace, because there are expectations that need to be met, that it's a competitive workplace. It's a competitive life. It's a competitive world, which means that people are nitpicky, that people are jealous, that they talk behind your back, that they are self-motivated to look out for their very best good. That's not a trade problem. It's not a trade problem. The trade life, my experience of it is it's a difficult life. I worked for difficult men. My father and my grandfather were difficult, demanding men, and I respect them and admire them for those expectations and those demands, because it's made my life better trying to up my game to be equal to those demands. And once I'm equal to those demands, I find out I can do more and be better and more demanding. And you can ask my boys if they think I'm a demanding man, and their answer will be unequivocally, yes, he is. And they strive every day to meet the expectations placed upon them by me to be quality professional tradesmen. The problem that I see and have is when it becomes some sort of toxic masculinity, that men are like that way. That it's not a trade problem, and it's not even a masculine problem. I am not denying for 1 second that there aren't dicks out there, 100%. But for the love of everything holy, you cannot mix us all together and paint us with this big broad brush and say all men suck, because they don't. That's not true, and that's not fair. So I think too many of us in today's day and age are getting thick about thin things that don't matter, things that don't improve our lives. You are responsible for you and no one else. You're responsible for your career, not your employer, not the building you work for, not the government. You are responsible for your life. That is the absolute truth. There will be people that will help you and mentor you along the way, but to try and hang your problems, your insecurities, your worries on as someone else's problem is absolutely unfair. And so I absolutely agree that we need to do better and do more. In fact, my favorite memory, one of my favorite memories was from Boy Scouts, the Cubs actually. where we would dib, and we would dob. If you remember that, good for you. Do your best, do our best. That's exactly what I've tried to do in my life. That's exactly what you should do in your life. Male, female, that's what you need to do. If you're being a dick, if you're being a bitch, stop it. And as one final point, having worked with 4 companies that hire all women, I can promise you that is not the utopia, because women are petty and catty and mean and jealous and create just as many problems as men, except we're just not allowed to talk about it, right? It's male toxic masculinity is the problem. It's a total farce. And anybody that says that is being disingenuous, because that is not the standard. Absolutely, there are people that are that way, but that is not the standard. And I've been in this trade for 40 years, and I was part of this trade when, none of this was talked about. There were no women in the trades. It was a hard life. Even then, it's not toxic masculinity. It's demands of the trade, the demands of having a family, demands that of being a contributing citizen to a government that doesn't appreciate your efforts or sacrifices. That's it. It's a long rant. Anyway, be safe out there. Do your best. Be your best. And stop getting thick over thin things that just simply don't matter. That's it. That's the message. Excellent Tuesday.